So welcome to the official dedication of the Postal Service's Armed Forces stamp celebrating the 250th anniversaries of the United States Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps. So yes. I am Laura McLucas. I am the district manager for the Maryland, D.C. district. As a U.S. Army veteran and a proud mother of a Marine, I am beyond honored to be here for this morning's ceremony. We have an excellent program lined up for you today. If you are sharing today's event on social media, please use our hashtag to help spread the news. The hashtag is Armed Forces 250 stamps, and that's spelled all as one word. That's Armed Forces 250 stamps. At this time, we ask that you please stand, if you are able to do so, for the presentation of colors by the Joint Service Color Guard and performance of the National Anthem by Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Benier and the U.S. Marine Corps Band.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you to the Joint Color Guard, Marine Corps Band, and Master Gunnery Sergeant Benier for that inspiring performance. Thank you also to the U.S. Army Brass Quintet for our pre-ceremony entertainment. Let's give them a hand, please. At this time, I would like to acknowledge our special guests. Obviously, our partners that helped put this event together: the United States Postal Service, the United States Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps. In the audience today, we also have with us Brigadier General Adam Smith. He is the Executive Director of the Military Postal Service Agency. So welcome, Brigadier General. And of course, our active duty military and any veterans that we have in the crowd. Absolutely, big hands. Thank you all for being here. We truly appreciate your support for today's ceremony. And now for the reason that we're all here, our stamp dedication. To do the honors, I am pleased to introduce our dedicated official, Jeff Adams, Vice President of Corporate Communications for the Postal Service. Mr. Adams, a proud Army veteran himself, has been in this role since 2020 and oversees all internal and external communications for USPS. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Jeff Adams.
All right, let's get this situated here. Good morning, everyone. All right. Listen, thank you, Laura, for that kind introduction, and thank you for your service. Really appreciate that. And thank you to our honored guests in the audience, my colleagues, for sharing this momentous occasion with all of us today. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the nearly 640,000 men and women of the United States Postal Service. In fact, it's especially a humbling and personal moment to be here as we celebrate the United States Army, Navy, and Marine Corps with the unveiling of our new commemorative forever stamps as they mark their 250th anniversary. These new stamps are dedicated not only to our armed forces and those who serve them, but to what I feel is the greatest honor, service to our country. The Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and generations of men and women who have served have shaped our very identity as Americans, and we owe everything to them and what they stand for. The Armed Forces stamps we're about to unveil are designed as an enduring tribute, a tribute to some of our country's most important institutions and those who have served them. Each stamp features the name of the service and its representative symbol on a white background. The words 250 years of service since 1775 are inscribed along the bottom in red and blue letters. Designed by Postal Service Art Director Antonio Alcala, their simplicity symbolizes more than any words or flourish could ever convey. They represent the American traditions of service, sacrifice, and of freedom. So at this time, I'd like to invite all of today's program participants to join me for the stamp unveiling. Thank you, everyone. Take a seat. All right, aren't these stamps awesome? Let's get out there and start buying them now. Come on. Okay. So as I said at the start of these remarks, right, this moment holds personal meaning for me. I am a proud Army veteran. I wore that uniform too as a military photojournalist. And when I reflect on my journey, there you go, hoo-ah! When I reflect on my journey, I think about how much the military gave and taught to me. My life path led me to the Army, and I didn't know what the outcome would be, but the Army showed me what was possible. As a military photojournalist, I deployed all over the world. I saw parts of countries I'd never dreamed I'd see. I experienced the world through different military missions, all with the privilege of capturing and spreading the stories of of Americans defending our ideals and our values. I didn't stay for a full career, but the years I served changed everything for me and shaped the very trajectory of my life. Most importantly, my service taught me to answer to a higher calling, what it means to be something bigger than yourself. And now, as a proud member of the Postal Service, one of the nation's largest employers of veterans, nearly 73,000 vets, I continue to serve in a different way. Because that feeling I get from service to our country, instilled in me from my time in the Army years ago, never left me. And because service, whether through the military, a government agency, or in your local communities, it contributes to the greatest good. It's one of the most important things we can do as citizens of the United States, because it doesn't just benefit the country, it shapes our own lives. And that foundation and those values are what I carry with me into every chapter of my life that follows. Service isn't about a uniform. It's about impact. It's about showing up. It's about standing up when it matters the most. And today, as we honor 250 years of military service, we also recognize those who are serving right now all over the world and keeping our freedoms alive. I know many of you here are veterans yourselves, and maybe you're still serving, and for that, we thank you. Or maybe those here today have family, friends, loved ones in the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, the Space Force, and you know the sacrifices made every day in the service of our country, in the service of the greater good. We thank you for your support. Let these stamps serve as reminders for every American that freedom didn't come easy, and it doesn't stay unless we protect it. Let these stamps serve as a lasting symbol of courage, of commitment, and of country. For me, this moment is a moment of reverence, a chance to recognize generations of great Americans spanning a quarter of a millennium. To all of our men and women in uniform, past and present, we thank you, and we stand with you. May we always honor the legacy that brought us here, 250 years strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Wait, a little taller than I am. Thank you, Jeff. That was very inspiring, and thank you, sir, for your service. All right, next, I am pleased to introduce Lieutenant General Gregory Brady, Inspector General for the United States Army. Lieutenant General Brady is a Chicago native and a 1991 graduate of the U.S. Military Academy. He assumed the role of Army Inspector General this year and is responsible for promoting service-wide accountability, integrity, and readiness. Please welcome General Brady, Lieutenant General Brady.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Acting Postmaster General Tulino, Jeff Adams, and Laura McLucas, distinguished guests, on behalf of the Secretary of the Army, the Honorable Dan Driscoll, and the Army Chief of Staff, General Randy George, it is truly an honor to represent the men and women of the United States Army here today. A sincere thanks to all of the wonderful people responsible for putting this ceremony on. Such a fitting tribute, first class, no pun intended. It is also exciting to be amongst many friends of the U.S. Postal Service, service members, and veterans. And guess what? I have a lot in common with you. In 1963, my father was a mail carrier in New York, was drafted into the United States Army in 1964. My spouse is an Army veteran, and my father-in-law is one of the most avid stamp collectors who's been collecting over 70 years and published a book on it too. This is what I call all Army and stamp friendly. Today is such a special opportunity. Being in the heart of our nation's capital, gathered on Freedom Plaza, to commemorate a momentous occasion in American history, the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Army, the United States Navy, and the United States Marine Corps. These three branches, born from the fires of revolution, have stood as unwavering guardians of our nation's freedom and ideals for 2.5 centuries. The historic unveiling of these commemorative stamps that you just witnessed is more than just a symbolic gesture. It's a testament of the enduring legacy of valor, warrior ethos, and unwavering dedication embodied by every soldier, sailor, and Marine who has worn the uniform. From the battlefields of the American Revolution to the mountains of Afghanistan, these brave men and women have answered our nation's call with unwavering courage and selflessness. As we honor 250 years of history, we also look forward to the future and American military's impact in national security. A recent example is the Army's Transformation Initiative that will transform the Army faster than ever to deliver critical warfighting capabilities, optimize our force structure, and eliminate waste and obsolete programs. This transformation will ensure your Army continues to be the most lethal land force the world has ever seen. And we'd also like to continue to provide you a front row seat for your Army with a special invitation to our 250th birthday celebration right here on the Mall on June 14th. How about a round of applause? Today's important commemoration should not close without recognizing the huge morale booster that the Postal Service has been to our military. Generations of military personnel serving in foreign lands deployed. I can attest to this firsthand. They've always cherished those two words when first sergeant's coming in with that big bag. Those two words are mail call. High points of their months and years away from home. Mr. Postmaster General, Team USPS, thank you. I sincerely hope when Americans see these stamps on their letters and packages, they will pause, if only for a moment, to reflect on the extraordinary legacy of the United States Army, Navy, and Marine Corps, and the debt we owe to those men and women who serve. Let this stamp serve as a small but meaningful reminder that without our soldiers, sailors, Marine, airmen, and guardians, there would be no land of the free. Freedom is not free, and what they represent is what makes this nation so great. This will defend. Peace through strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Brady. Wow, inspiring, right? Yeah, I know who's going to be first in line to buy some stamps. He's got orders from his dad, I know. Next, I am delighted to introduce Vice Admiral Michael Boyle, Director of the Navy Staff. Vice Admiral Boyle received his commission in 1987 and was designated a naval aviator in 1990. During his nearly 40-year career, he has flown missions all over the globe. He has been Director of the Navy Staff since August 2024. Please join me in welcoming Vice Admiral Michael Boyle.
I didn't know I was going to have to follow radio voice Greg Brady. Between the national anthem, how about a round of applause for that national anthem? And Greg's remarks, there's a little bit of pressure up here, but good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished visitors. It's really an honor to join you here in the heart of Washington, D.C. to mark the founding of the United States Army, Navy, and Marine Corps. I want to thank the United States Postal Service for honoring this legacy with the release of the Armed Forces 250th Anniversary Forever stamps. These stamps are more than just symbols. They are a salute to the generations of Americans who have defended our nation's freedom, a tribute to those who continue to do so today, and a recognition of those who will do so tomorrow. I would also like to thank the United States Postal Service for their partnership with the Navy, a partnership that has spanned nearly 2.5 centuries. You have well and faithfully delivered mail to ships on the far side of the world, always finding a way to keep people connected. No matter the distance, letters and care packages from friends and family delivered to our deployed sailors at sea make an immense difference. Our partnership has even combined for one of the most unconventional experiments in mail delivery in 1959. A missile containing 3,000 letters was launched from a submarine and landed safely on Naval Station Mayport. Nothing says priority mail quite like a cruise missile with a stamp on it. Now, unfortunately, that program was scrapped because, wait for it, in 1959, the 4-cent stamp didn't quite cover the cost. These stamps you see before you today do more than commemorate our histories. They tell a tale. Each one represents a chapter in the story of America's armed forces and a reminder of how we've grown as a nation. For our Navy, that story began in October of 1775 when the Continental Congress authorized our first 2 vessels to intercept British supplies. Early victories helped us define who we were. When the USS Constitution defeated HMS Guerriere during the War of 1812, it wasn't just a tactical victory. It was a thunderous declaration that America would not back down. Old Ironsides, as she came to be known, still floats today as a commissioned warship, a testament to that enduring spirit. From those earliest days until now, our Navy has kept that fighting spirit alive. It was alive in John Paul Jones when he declared, "I have not yet begun to fight," and Admiral Farragut when he ordered, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." It was alive with our forces in the Battle of Midway and Leyte Gulf, and it is alive on this very day with our sailors on watch in the Red Sea, combating the Houthi aggression. Our Navy and Nation's 250 celebration is about more than looking back. It's about telling the American people, especially the next generation, who we are and why we serve. It's about conveying that fighting spirit. It's about showing them that America is and always has been a maritime nation, that 90% of global commerce travels the seas, and the presence of our Navy is what ensures it arrives safely. That from the Arctic to the South China Sea, from the seabed to space, nearly 100 ships and submarines are underway on any given day, defending freedom and deterring aggression. To our brothers and sisters in the Army and Marine Corps, congratulations on your 250th. It's an honor to serve beside you as we have since the very beginning. To the United States Postal Service, thank you for honoring that service, for always standing with our sailors, and for ensuring that even across oceans, our troops have a connection home. And to all who are here today, may these stamps remind us not only of the past 250 years, but of the promise we carry forward, the promise to defend freedom, to deliver peace, and to be ready to fight and win at sea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Admiral Boyle. Wow, tugs at the heart, doesn't it? Makes you proud. Proud to be an American. Proud to be a veteran. All right, our next speaker this morning is Lieutenant General Paul Rock, Director of the Marine Corps Staff. He was commissioned in 1988 from the U.S. Naval Academy and has been deployed around the world as a naval aviator. Prior to his current assignment, he was Commandant of the National War College right here in Washington, D.C. Please join me in welcoming Lieutenant General Paul Rock.
All right, good morning, everybody. Hoorah. Mr. Adams, thank you for the invitation, and congratulations to you and the United States Postal Service on making this terrific commemorative event happen. Thank you. Happy 250th to my fellow speakers, who again are tough to follow, and all the soldiers, sailors, and Marines, current and former, in the audience. Although Marines pride ourselves on being first to fight, I recognize that I'm second to last to brief, so I'll try to keep it brief and on point. It is a distinct honor to join the United States Postal Service in unveiling this commemorative stamps honoring the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps. This is a special moment in a special year. And while the services celebrate their individual and shared history, what makes this event even more powerful is the connection between the American Armed Forces and the American people. We are your soldiers, sailors, and Marines. After 2.5 centuries, the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps continue to stand as guardians of our nation, protectors of our freedom, and symbols of American resolve. We serve side by side in countless conflicts, safeguarding our interests and upholding the values that define us as a nation. For the Marine Corps, this anniversary is both a celebration and a time for reflection, a time to honor those who came before us. And I'm still standing, so I take that as a good sign. Are we good? All right. All right, I'm going that way if the stage, all right. Anyway, it's a time to honor those who came before us and a time to reaffirm our commitment to the future. Born on 10 November 1775 at the infamous Tun Tavern, a bar in Philadelphia, the Marine Corps has a rich and storied history that's woven into the very fabric of the American identity. From the shores of Tripoli to the sands of Iwo Jima, to the frozen battlefield at the Chosin Reservoir, to the deserts, arid deserts, and mountains of Iraq and Afghanistan, Marines have consistently answered the call to duty with honor, courage, and unwavering commitment. Our mission remains to be the nation's force in readiness, ready to respond to crises around the globe in order to protect our nation, its people and interests, and our friends and allies. We take our responsibility to be the first to fight with the utmost seriousness. Our traditions, which today's ceremony highlights, are forged in battle. They define who we are, and they inspire us to be Semper Fidelis, always faithful. The Postal Service's decision to honor these anniversaries is both a testament to the enduring legacy and unwavering dedication of the American military and a reminder of the special relationship the Postal Service has with our armed forces. If you want, as was mentioned by General Brady, there's no better way to lift immediately the spirits of a deployed Marine than to holler mail call, and God help you if you're not telling the truth. I still have letters that my wife wrote me when I was a young first lieutenant overseas on my first shipboard deployment, and I cherish the pictures that came through the mail from my children the first time I went to war. Precious memories made possible by the United States Postal Service. That connection remains strong to this day, and I thank the USPS for helping us share this great milestone with all Americans. These stamps will travel around the world and across our nation, carrying with them the message of patriotism, service, and unwavering dedication. Thanks again for the opportunity to be a part of this special and historic event. To the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and those gathered here today, Semper Fidelis. You're up.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Rock. Now I'm pleased to introduce today's final speaker, because it's hot, right? USPS Military Program Specialist, Marty Miras. Mr. Miras is a retired Army Command Sergeant Major who is responsible for supporting the more than 70,000 military veterans employed by the Postal Service. Please welcome Marty Miras.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. Can't go without the U.S. Army Cavalry, right? Who? Greetings, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today's Armed Forces Stamp dedication. I would like to start by thanking all of those who, despite the risk and sacrifice, raised their hand to serve and defend this beautiful country. The service of our veterans active duty service members, members of the National Guard, and the Reserve Forces help keep our country safe and free. But let us not take for granted the military families who shoulder the weight of war and the burdens of sacrifice. To the mothers, fathers, spouses, significant others, and children of our military men and women, thank you. In 1775, three institutions that became the cornerstone of our fledgling nation came together into existence. The United States Army was established June 14th. This was followed by the Navy on October 13th and the U.S. Marine Corps on November 10th. For 250 years, these military branches have fostered a legacy of service. During this time, millions of men and women have left their families and homes, not for recognition, not for fame, but rather to serve. They became soldiers, sailors, and Marines, and helped to provide our country with the security we enjoy today. Nearly 73,000 veterans have continued their service with the United States Postal Service. This includes veterans of the Army, Navy, Marines, as well as our veterans of the United States Air Force, the Space Force, and our Coast Guard. In fact, the Postal Service regularly partners with national veterans organizations to recruit former service members into our ranks. Our outreach, combined with the internal efforts to inform and promote veterans, has made the Postal Service a strong career choice for those leaving the military. Our organization is consistently rated as a top employer for veterans. With the Armed Forces commemorative stamps, the Postal Service continues the traditions of honor and respect for our service members and the institutions they serve. In times of war and peace, patriotic Americans have served with honor and fidelity. Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they have made a difference in the world. I can tell you, each one of you makes a difference every day with your honorable service. Sometimes that service leaves scars, ones that can't always be seen. General Douglas MacArthur once said, "The soldier, above all others, prays for peace. For it is the soldier who must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war." The legacy of service I spoke of doesn't end when the service member comes home and hangs up the uniform. That's because the legacy doesn't belong only to them. We must take it upon ourselves to continue the legacy by supporting those struggling with physical and mental challenges. Sometimes just sitting down with talk with a veteran or their family members can go a long way. Let them know they are not alone. Because like the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and even the United States Postal Service, they deserve a legacy that endures. Thank you all for your attention today. Thank you for coming, and have a great day. Thank you for your service. Hooah!
Thank you, Marty. Yes, the Postal Service is always hiring. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony for today, but before we go, I have a few quick thank yous and reminders. I'd like to thank our program participants as well as everyone at the National Park Service and the Postal Service. You can purchase these beautiful Armed Forces stamps at our mobile retail unit right over there, and you can also buy them online at USPS.com. Our program participants will be available shortly to autograph today's program and other commemorative items. Thank you again for attending today's dedication. You've been a wonderful audience. It has been my sincere privilege and honor to be here today with these wonderful people. Please enjoy a performance from the Navy Bluegrass Quintet Band, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.